Welcome to the Humanergy Leadership Podcast, where we tackle your toughest leadership challenges and share practical tools to help you lead with impact. Well, welcome to this episode of the Humanergy Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, David Wheatley, and I'm joined by Jen Wagner from Honor Credit Union. And her team is one of the first recipients of Humanergy's Green Path Awards. It actually is responsible for the idea of a Green Path Award. So just to give you a quick intro, Jen's team was responsible for the credit union's social media account as they went through their core change. And we'll talk more about what the core is in a minute. But the way that they handled the social media account was just wow in my mind. And I went back to my team and was sharing what I'd observed and how it had happened. And Mimi on my team said, hey, we should have an award for this. And hence the Green Path Awards came up. And every year we're going to announce 2 recipients for the Green Path Awards. And this year, one of them was Honor Credit Union's social media team, represented here today by Jen Wagner. So welcome, Jen.
Thank you so much for having me, David. And I mean, I don't like to use puns very often, but it truly is an honor to have this award presented to us and to be the first recipient. So thank you so much.
Well, and thanks for stimulating the idea. So just before we get into that, for those that aren't credit union people, what's it mean to change the core in a credit union?
Well, essentially, what changed, it was the interface that people were using to do their online banking and bank from their app, which is important. It's, people's money. Some people are logging in daily to look at these things, and things looked a little bit different. We upgraded the online banking and their app, and it really was for, all of our members' security. We want to provide, top tier security features, and we were able to do that by upgrading it, but also offer them, the industry standard. Technology changes over time. So we want to be able to, rise up and meet those standards and continuously change as technology changes to offer our members the best possible interface where, they can bank.
And I think you're doing it a light service there, aren't you? Because really the core is your operating system for the credit union. And your piece of it was the member-facing piece. So
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm always trying to put things into layman's terms. I don't come from the credit union industry. I've been in it for 2 years here with Honor. So I know it took me a while to pick up on all the different banking terms. So it did. It was the full operating system. It was the interface. It was a heavy lift for our team. So the members were experiencing some change on their side as a result.
And so for 110,000 members-ish in October, everything switched one Sunday night.
Yeah. And I mean, we did communicate ahead of time. This is happening, be ready. We gave them, direct mailers. We were emailing. We had our website letting people know that we were doing the upgrade. So, we were trying to reach them ahead of time. So it wasn't a big surprise.
And so talk me through what was the preparation like? Because I was watching the social media side and in particular the Facebook responses. How did you prepare the team for that Monday morning?
It was months of preparation, actually. So we were working with different departments. And within our own department, we were really trying to find, what will be some of these top questions that people will be asking. What things are going to change on their side that they may be asking questions about, wondering about. Based on that, we compiled a Q&A sheet. So it had all these potential questions on there. And with, the answers to those questions, a lot of it is like, where can I find, my bill pay, and where can I find these things that I use all the time? So we wanted to be sure we had a lot of different avenues where we could provide these answers. One of them was we had a website page devoted to it. So that way we could really guide people to that resource so they could use that and, understand how to use this new online banking and app.
And the thing that stood out for me for about 2 weeks, you could see people on a level from slightly frustrated to angry
Yeah.
who were posting things on Honor's Facebook page in particular, with that emotion behind it, and it didn't feel like they were getting rote answers from a script.
No, no, that was a rule for my team, before this started. Look, we have these answers, but we're not gonna copy and paste anything. We're going to talk to people like humans because, they were frustrated and who we would expect that. Who likes change? I got a new vacuum recently. It's much better than my old vacuum. I don't like it. I don't like it because I don't know what the different buttons do, or, I'm sure it works better, but I miss my old vacuum. It's broken, it's gone, unfortunately. So I completely understand when you log into something and this is your money. We don't take that lightly, and you can't find what it is that you want to do, or it looks a little bit different. That's frustrating. I know my husband heard a lot about that vacuum in the first couple of weeks, and I've had to kind of relearn it, and now, we're best friends. But at first, did I like it? No.
So when we're taking the green path at Humanergy, we talk about three things: being caring, honest, and direct in our communication. And that was the thing that really resonated because it didn't feel rote, it didn't feel scripted. It felt like every single response for a couple of weeks that I was monitoring that came from a real heart of caring, honest, and direct. You were had empathy for people. You were honest about what was happening, and you were direct about the next steps and the steps that they could take. What set you up for that?
Well, I think, I mean, yes, we're answering as humans. What when we respond to social media, I think it's really about making people feel heard. A lot of the times, people may not know exactly what they don't like, or they just want to voice that they don't like it. And honestly, I think I would rather have them do that in that platform than go talk to a lot of people and say, I don't like this. At least if they talk to us, we can do something about it. So I really, wanted our team to treat people, like it was their own mom. And I'm sure people get a lot of questions about technology from their parents. I know I do. And sometimes, they're frustrated and you have to say, that is really frustrating. I understand that because I've been through it too. And I think that's what we were really trying to accomplish. And we kind of use this structure in our responses. And it's first acknowledging that frustration. We're not trying to make it go away and just be like, well, why didn't you try this? No, it's completely reasonable to be frustrated when you can't find something or you can't do something that you used to do that's still available, but you're just not used to the new, platform. So I think that first step of acknowledging it. And then the second step is, we do have solutions for that. So have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then third would be pointing them to other resources too. Hey, if you get stuck again, we have this amazing website that has a list of Q&As that you can use. So, please visit that. You can also contact us by phone and giving them other ways to contact us too, because a lot of times people just want to be heard and they want their problem solved. So if we can do that within one comment, then that's the ultimate goal.
So feel validated on one hand, and then a quick solution or something that drives to an easy solution for the member.
And apologizing. I think a lot goes for saying, we know this isn't ideal. This is not ideal for you to not wake up on a Monday thinking, I'm going to have problems. Some people had problems logging in. They had to re-upload the app. So, people didn't expect that. They're frustrated, rightly so.
Which, that's one of the things. So that sense of it wasn't rote, it wasn't trite, it felt very genuine, which is the underpinnings. And I imagine at different times, especially for that couple of weeks, your team was frustrated by the same question that was just answered a few lines above or something like that. What were you doing to make sure that the team stayed?
It was really fast paced. I'm not going to lie, for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think, and I went through this before the podcast just to see how many things we responded to in a couple of weeks. It was about 1,000 comments. And that's a very small percentage of our members who were, really struggling and needed that help and came to us in that platform. Our phone lines, I'm sure, were had a lot more people calling in there. So I think it was an interesting atmosphere during that time because every department was like working together. Everybody knew that it was about the member. It wasn't about us, and they wanted to help the member. And our team, part of it too, sometimes if we couldn't get to the bottom of that solution, we would have to triage it to another department. And we found that they would call them back right away. And sometimes it would take multiple people to solve the issue. And I think it was just really uplifting to know we were all in it together and we had backup. And no matter what, we were going to find a solution for this member during that time. So
So
I
very
think
much
just knowing that was our common goal was what got us through it.
I think that's a wonderful step in that alignment, that we're all in the same boat, all hands to the pump for this period of time. And I think there were even things set up to say, hey, there's going to be no vacation requests during this time. This is just one of these
Yeah.
critical things. Everybody's going to be here. And even interdepartmentally, they're sharing. My guess is there
Yeah.
was a lot of preparation went into that. So you've looked through the data. What were some of the most frustrating or challenging responses you had to deal with?
It's funny just kind of looking back through it. I think the most frustrating not responses, but some of the times where it was harder to respond was when people didn't give us a clear issue they were having. It was more they wanted just to voice the frustration. And I think it's just, letting them do that. And a lot of the time it is trying to get them into a private message or to call us so we can talk to them. Because I think we've all been there where maybe we started to get frustrated, maybe with a company, with a brand, and you're like, oh, I just really want to voice this or complain or give a bad review or do something. But, when those people don't come to the brand first to give them that opportunity, that's what's frustrating. So I don't think it's frustrating, I guess, when they would comment. I liked seeing the comments because the good. I'm like, they're getting help. They're voicing that to us where we can actually help them and do something about it. So it was kind of like playing detective sometimes when people would comment and we weren't quite sure, why they were upset. And it's like, well, I'm going to direct message you and let's talk about this a little bit more. I want to hear more about, what you're having issues with. And once we were able to do that, a lot of times they would let us know just by hearing them and asking more questions.
So a comment like this sucks is
Yeah.
not helpful, but you still treated that with that same caring, honest, and direct communication approach and tried to make it even more direct by taking it offline, which I think is the other thing that resonated. And quite often I saw people saying, oh, no, this got dealt with. Give them a call. They dealt with it really nice, really well.
Yeah. And that's the goal. If people give us that chance, I think we actually said that a lot in our comments just naturally. No, thank you for giving us the opportunity to help. Thanks for giving us that chance and coming to us. Because, they could have just been upset and complained. I think we've all been there when we've been upset with something. And the tendency is to complain and get frustrated. But I think once they did that and got it out of their system, they felt better. And then they were able to be like, yeah, you know what? I actually don't like it's this, this, and this. And you just have to ask the right questions to get to that point.
Right. So there's a lot of credit unions that I work with that are coming up to core changes. A lot of organizations, most of the organizations I work with are going through major change. What pieces of advice would you give their social media teams for getting ready for this?
I would say lots of coffee. Um, it's like during the time, caffeinate, honestly so I'm a former college athlete. I was treating it like game day. I'm like, I would get up, I'd be so excited. I'm like, I don't know, exactly what's waiting for me, but I know it's going to be busy. And this is our moment to really shine and show how much we care as a brand and, be real people. So I would say like treat it not as a challenge, but it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to show how much you care. And it's an opportunity to, win people over with every single time you solve something. So, yeah, I guess part of that preparation is mindset. It's not like, oh, no, these people are upset right now. It's like, no, this is an opportunity to help somebody and to maybe turn somebody into a fan who wasn't before.
So really train for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're training for it and you are prepared there. And honestly, I would say just be ready to be agile because you're going to have some questions or some things come up that you didn't have on that list if you're building a Q&A list, which is actually good. If you see multiple people having the same issue, that's when you can work with other departments and say, hey, I'm actually seeing this quite a bit. Are you guys seeing that? What can we do to resolve that? And our team actually was super proactive. We just found that some people needed to be walked through via video. They needed to see it. They just instructions on a screen wasn't enough. So we actually had people on my team creating video tutorials so we could then put that on the resource website page so people could actually go in and look and see what they were experiencing, like these top problems that they were having.
Which is, interesting thing. The better we prepare for it, the more likely we are to be able to adjust and pivot and move in the
Yeah.
right direction. And the idea of caring, honest, and direct. We normally say that most people are good at two of them. And so what you're saying is let's drill this, let's practice it, let's see what questions we can come up with and how we would respond to them. And so we're getting into that fluid practice that your college athlete sense would want.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because it does. It is practice. And I talk to my 13-year-old about this all the time. Empathy is a practice. It's not something that comes naturally all the time because sometimes it's hard. You have to, someone might be being mean to you, but what's going on in their life today? Like what from their perspective might be happening to as to why? Like let's understand better why you're, having strife with this person, what may be going on in their life.
That's always one of my favorite approaches to you don't know what's happening. And this might have been the last straw. And so
Yeah,
you think it's only something small, but to them, this is the last straw on top of a whole bunch of other things that are going on in their life that they're struggling with. And all
right.
they need is for somebody to be responsive, to listen to them, understand them, and then provide a simple solution. And all of a sudden it takes a great weight off if I can be patient like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and that takes practice.
Well, once again, congratulations. I know you're the kind of person that wouldn't want to be standing here alone holding the trophy. Do you want to shout out to some of the other people that were critical
Yes.
to making this successful?
Yeah, I definitely would. My team, so we have Hannah Orsillo on my team, who she is running the social media day in and day out. She was so quick to respond. And actually, Kayla Smith is also on our team and she helps create content, but she's normally not responding on a day to day basis. She was, willing to jump in and kind of let this take over her life for a couple of weeks. So I really appreciate her, going outside of her job and doing that. But I know you asked, well, how do you teach your team this caring, honest, and direct? Like, how do you teach them that? And I would love to say like that I drilled this down into them like I was their coach, but these women are just like that. They are, on a day-to-day basis, they do care. Like we care for each other and we were really supportive of each other. We had a big group chat going on during all of this, trying to, keep each other going and encouraging each other. But also if someone was, struggling, it was picking each other up. So I think just having a team that you can rely on, but will also support you, that's huge.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the shout outs to them too. And there's always a bigger team behind this kind of work and that kind of pattern. And I even love the fact that in some ways you said, "Hey, I hire for this." So if we
Yeah.
hire for people who are naturally caring, honest, and direct, then it's very easy to plug that into to this kind of work.
It's not just me though, Honor as a whole does. I think our whole focus is serving the member and putting them first, and nothing was a bigger example of that than when we went through our, online banking upgrade. Just seeing everybody work together and, really jumping at the chance to do whatever it takes to help the member, even if it took several teams or several departments, they were gonna do that. So, I think that was really affirming as to why I work at Honor.
Jen, thanks very much. Thanks for joining us today. Congratulate the team once again, and I appreciate you sharing your story.
Thanks for all the work you do with Honor, David. I think it's just so valuable that there is a company out there that, specializes in teaching this caring, honest, and direct type of communication, between teams. So thanks for all that you
That's
do too.
it's a great partnership. So thanks. We appreciate it too.
Thank you.
That was the Humanergy Leadership Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe and visit humanergy.com for many more resources.